Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back in another video, and so we're gonna talk about these, the film news about the Venom and whatnot, guys, and everything that's going on right now. I'm not gonna do what Comic Book Cast is doing and just make 3 separate videos of pretty much news that could have been recorded on one video, because that somehow doesn't make sense. So first news, obviously, Carnage, Woody Harrelson, to be exact, will be in Venom 2. It is official. That is going to happen, which I don't see why people thought just because the director was changing doesn't mean that they weren't going to not, get rid of what they already had planned from the original film, because obviously they have to, center off the original film no matter who the director is for the sequel. So yeah, that's official, guys. Woody Harrelson will be in Venom 2, or whatever they decide to choose to call it. I'm assuming they're going to call it Venom 2, but if they don't, whatever. Woody Harrelson will be there, and it'll be Carnage. He'll be the main villain of the thing. It won't be Raiden. Well, Raiden's dead anyways, but spoiler for anyone who hasn't somehow watched this yet. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? You guys get it, right? So that's happening. I am interested to see where they're going with it, where they're gonna go with Carnage. And how they set it up. Like, did he already have the powers when Venom made that cameo? When he made that cameo and said it's going to be Carnage, or doesn't he already have it yet? You know what I mean there? And this will set it up. The Venom 2 is going to set up, Carnage is, getting this, thing. I'm wondering, getting the, his symbiote, because as we all know, Carnage's symbiote is based off of the evilness of Venom. They got the freaking the pregnancy, which makes no logical sense, but it's a symbiote. So it's a pregnant type thing, and freaking just spawns off of it, and it becomes the embodiment of the evilness of Venom, which becomes Carnage eventually. And that's how Cletus Cassidy gets it, because they want an evil host. So I am very curious to see where they're going to go with that, if he already has it, or they're going to give Carnage some type of depth and origins to set up the symbiote and show us that. I think they should do that, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're going to be like, oh, well, he already has the ability. I don't know what they're doing. But so that is good news. That is good news for people that want to see this, because I know I want to see it. You know what I'm saying, right? I know I want to see it. Now, here's the thing we got to talk about, though, because like I said, Woody Harrelson's gonna be in there. Morbius is coming up too. That's going to be earlier in the year compared to what they're doing for Venom 2, which will be in October. I don't know if Spider-Man, Venom, or Carnage will be appearing in Morbius, or how they're going to attach it, because when I heard that's supposed to be in the same universe and whatnot. So I don't know if anything's going to be happening in terms of what they do with Morbius, or vice versa. Morbius makes a cameo in Venom 2. But people are wondering what the whole death of Spider-Man. Like I said, people, because there are still, even right now, making this video right now, people are still trying to spread these rumors about, Spider-Man being still in the MCU. They're going to say that, they're going to still try to reseal. Even our little friend Comic Book Cast about 2 hours ago made a video about, them trying to reach a deal. It's not happening, guys. I'm telling you right now, it is not happening. You guys live in a make-believe land if you think the deal is happening. Kevin Feige made an announcement. Sony made an announcement. Tom Holland made an announcement. What more do you guys want? What more do you guys want? Like, how many more times are we going to go over this? Marvel went too greedy. Or not Marvel, Disney went too greedy. Disney went too greedy. They wanted 50%. Sony said no, which if I was them, I would have said no too. And that's stupid. Maybe a 20. I say 20, 15 or 20, for Disney, and then, give us a couple percentage of the merchandising. That's what I'd say. Because it's like, if you're going to get an increase from 5%, right? Hear me out on this. If you're going to get an increase of 5% to 20%, how come I shouldn't get at least a percentage of that merchandise rights? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Because Disney has all the merchandising rights. Sony sold that back to them in 2011. Okay? If I'm going to, work with you, and you're going to get a huge increase, why don't I get a percentage of the merchandising rights? Because you're going to be selling off merchandise. You're going to be selling off merchandise of Spider-Man, right, for these movies. And you're going to make billions of dollars for merchandise, right? Why can't I get some of that money? You're getting some of the movie money from me, right? You're getting some of the movie money from me. So why am I not getting some of the merchandising money from you? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make business sense. And I know some people, all these haters about Sony, you got to remember something. Sony made a deal in 1999 when Marvel was essentially going to be bankrupt. Was essentially going to be bankrupt, right? They were going to essentially be bankrupt, okay? They sold those movie rights to Sony so they can make some quick cash. Just like Sony did in 2011 when they sold back the merchandising rights, because Sony wasn't doing that very well, okay? So they did the same thing, okay? And this is a business decision, and that's what people need to understand. This whole, they're going to somehow make a deal. No, they're already in production. They already know what they're going to do, okay? They all know what they're going to do. They're going to continue doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? With or without Marvel's involvement. Now, some people are going to blame, Tom Rothman, right, because of his past failures with Fox. Okay, and I'll say, I'm going to say it right now. Tom Rothman, what he did in a lot of his film decisions with Fox, they weren't great decisions at all. But do you really think he's going to try to do the same shit with Sony? Okay, yes, he made failures. He did, his stupid shit. But he's got another chance to redeem himself. And that's what he's doing right now. He's going to redeem himself. He's not going to do the stupid shit he did with X-Men and all that shit. You guys are using that against him. It's like, you're not going to do the same shit. He'd have to be a fool to do that shit. Because he knows if he does that shit again, he's going to be screwed. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do that same shit again. Why would he? He knows that if he does it again, he's going to, screw himself over, right? He's going to screw himself over. And it's a different time, and he realizes that. But, to say that, he's just going to, he's going to ruin everything, doesn't make sense. For TV rights, yeah. Let them do some TV shows too. I mean, they let X-Men do it, even when they didn't have the TV rights too. So, let him do it then. Let them do some TV stuff if you wanna. But that's the thing. It's like, if you're gonna get something, you got to give me something in return. You're going to get take half of my money. Why don't I get some of that stuff that you're gonna do? Like TV stuff or merchandise. Like I said, merchandising is probably the best way that they should go, because merchandising, obviously, with Spider-Man alone, I mean, let's face it, Spider-Man is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, MCU character. Not MCU character, I'm sorry, Marvel character, not MCU character, Marvel character. You're going to make a lot of merchandising off of that. So yeah, you get people using that stupid shit. It just makes a little sense. Okay. The whole thing with Sony and Disney, again, it's just, they're all bickering about it, and they can all bicker they want, but, Sony's going to move forward, and they're going to do their thing. I don't know exactly what else they're doing. I've heard live action Into the Spider-Verse stuff, possibly. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I mean, from what I heard, they're trying to only do 2 movies a year, which is really weird. You'd think they would want to crank out more, especially with the MCU doing more. I think the MCU does like 3 movies a year, right now. You would think they would want to try to crank out 3 movies a year. I don't know how many I mean, other than the Spider-Man one they did this year, which was an MCU movie. I don't know if they are having any other movies coming out, like, in terms of, like, other Spider-Man characters. So, I don't know exactly what Sony's doing right now, but I think what Sony should do is try to start putting out 3 movies a year. Of course, good ones, not bad ones. But, I mean, I don't know what Sony's trying to do. I mean, obviously Sony has to continue making films of Spider-Man or other Spider-Man related characters, or they lose the rights. They have to continue doing that. They're going to continue doing that until they either go out of business or something else happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're never going to stop making... So they can't. They can't stop making Spider-Man films, no matter what. No matter what, like, whether it be Venom, whether it be Carnage, whether it be Serenian 6... whether it be Morbius, whatever. They're going to be continue making them, or animated films, because they can do animated films as well, too. That was their loophole at the time when they had the contract with Marvel, was they could do Spider-Man live action, or they could do animated movies, which, had Spider-Man in it, and they did that very well. Like I've covered already, Hollins, he's going to be in there. I don't know who else is going to be in there, whether they have the MJ character in there, the Michelle character. She's coming back. I don't know how they're doing that. Like, I don't know if they're going to be doing that or not, or they're going to just, but this whole thing with the Spider-Man, what suits again? All they got to do is just remake a suit. I mean, he already used multiple different suits anyways. And in the movies that they've had so far, right? So all they got to do is just make another Spider-Man like design. They could even use Tobey Maguire's suit if they wanted to, because I mean they own that. But I doubt they'll do that. They'll just make a new suit for Spider-Man to wear, and they'll just say, this is my new suit. So then that's all they have to do. That's all they have to say. All they have to say is like, this is the new suit that I just made, and I'm going to be using it now, or something like that. And that's all they have to do. That's all they have to do. I mean, there's no freaking rocket science with this shit. Like, I mean, people are like, oh, what suit is he going to wear? What suit is he going to wear, Like, dude, come on now. There's rumors that Spider-Man might be making a cameo in Venom 2. And there's also rumors that he was supposed to appear in Venom 1, which, I mean, we've heard those rumors. We heard those rumors before the film came out. And now we're hearing about it. It's like, oh, yeah, there was supposed to be, but we had him delete it, I don't know. But yeah, with the whole cameo stuff, we'll see what happens with the cameos. But right now, the way it looks like, I think if they put Spider-Man in Venom 2, I don't think it would be a good idea. I don't think putting Spider-Man in Venom 2 would be a good idea, because you're still developing the Venom character and you're still developing the Carnage character, and if you put Spider-Man in that film, you're going to kind of take away from it. I think you're going to take away from what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to take away from that whole thing with Venom, because Venom obviously doesn't have the spider thing on his chest, because Spider-Man wasn't in Venom 1. He never the symbiote never attached to Spider-Man and then went to Eddie Brock afterwards. So they're going to have to they're going to have to come up with a clever way, to figure out a reason for the symbiote wanting to go to Peter Parker now, despite the fact that he's already on Eddie Brock, and then go back to Eddie Brock, so then he can have the chest. He can have the spider chest, because that, they already have done the story. So they're going to have to figure out a way to, basically, come up with a way where they can do that, so then Venom can finally have his chest. We could have the spider chest and have, most of his powers, which he doesn't currently have right now. But I'll tell you one thing that our good friend Comic Book Cast doesn't cover is the fact that Stan Lee's daughter flat out said that Stan Lee would have sided with Sony on this. Something he has yet to cover, by the way, might I add. That's another thing. He won't, he conveniently doesn't make a video about that, which everyone was talking about. Never makes a video about that, which just tells you all you need to know about Comic Book Cast being an MCU fanboy. If he was a real Marvel, if he was real about Marvel, all sides of it, he would have covered that shit. He would have covered it. And yeah, I don't want him in the movies either, but he's eventually going to be in there. I want him in there. Because he's not in the MCU anymore, so he's gonna be in he's gonna be in those movies. I don't think he should be in Venom 2 though. Venom 3. If Venom 3 is if he's in Venom 3, which could be Venom versus Spider-Man, or it could be Maximum Carnage, depending on how the plot is for Venom 2. With Carnage, if Carnage is defeated in Venom 2, then obviously that would defeat that. Maybe Carnage won't be defeated by the end of Venom 2. I don't know what they're planning for it, but I don't think Spider-Man should be in the second film. I think they should wait. And maybe if they do, whenever they decide to come out with Spider-Man 3, whatever Spider-Man 3 is going to be called, because it ain't going to be called Spider-Man 3, because they already have a Spider-Man 3 title, so it's going to be called something else. But whenever they decide to come out with that, that's when I think Venom should meet up with Spider-Man at some point. That's when I think they should meet up, is whenever they do the third Spider-Man film. Which is a solo film. That's when I think they should meet up, because that's when I think you do the whole plot with Venom and Spider-Man. He meets up, Eddie Brock's symbiote decides to go to Spider-Man, and then you have that whole Spider-Man, Venom, suit or whatever, during the middle of the film. He breaks up with him, and then he goes back to Eddie Brock. That's where I think you do that, is in the third film, because then it could set up the Spider-Man versus Venom film if they decide to do that. that's where I think they should do it in some capacity. Because that's the only way I could see, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way I could see them doing, like, you know, the way where you get to the plot you want to of Venom having, you know, the spider on his chest, because he already has been established that he doesn't. So you have to find out a way where the symbiote will then go to Spider-Man and then leave Spider-Man quickly and then go back to Eddie Brock. And I don't think you should do that in Venom 2 because Venom 1 didn't have Spider-Man in it. So you haven't acknowledged him yet. So, you know, putting him in Venom 2 to me just wouldn't make sense right now, especially since, you know, if they're going to build off of what happened in Far From Home, it wouldn't make logical sense either if they did that. So I think what they should do is you do your Venom 2, maybe have Spider-Man appear in Morbius. I don't know what they're doing with Morbius or where that's going to connect, but it's obviously going to connect in some capacity. You don't have Spider-Man in Venom 2, and it just centers around Carnage. You take out Carnage. Obviously, Carnage is not dead, though, at the end of the film, which could lead to the third film of Maximum Carnage. You do Spider-Man 3, where you have a cameo of Venom somehow, where, you know, he, you know, loses the symbiote, and Spider-Man gets the symbiote. You know, he has it for a little bit, but then deattaches himself from it because he doesn't like it. And then it goes back to Eddie Brock. Then you don't even talk about it, and then you just go on and do your little Spider-Man, whoever the main villain is in the third film. And then once that film ends, then you can set up Venom 3, which can be Spider-Man versus Venom, or it could be just called Maximum Carnage, and you have the whole video game storyline between Venom and Spider-Man teaming up to take on Carnage at the end. There's a lot of different ways they can go about it, but you know, you got to figure that out first. You gotta take care of that first. You got to take care of the whole storyline between Venom and Spider-Man, where, you know, he gets the thing on the chest, takes it off, and then Eddie Brock gets it back, so then he can have the logo that he doesn't currently have right now. You got to get to that plot first, and then you can get to the big, you know, pa-bomb, you know, type thing, where you delay Carnage's death. You know, Venom 2, I think, you know, he's gonna defeat Carnage, but he's not gonna be able to finish him off. So Carnage is gonna come back, and that's where I think they're gonna go with it. I don't know, but that's kind of some of the things I think they probably should do, and maybe some other stuff, you know, in between, but I don't know. Because I don't know any of the other films they plan on doing. I've heard rumors that they're going to do a Gwen Stacy live action film. Obviously, they're doing a Morbius film, so I don't know what other films they're doing outside of, you know, the Venom, the Carnage, and Spider-Man stuff right now besides Morbius. So I don't know what other stuff they're planning. Obviously, there's people are thinking they're going to do an Into the Spider-Verse movie at some point, live action movie. Maybe other animated movies, I don't know, but, you know, that's where, you know, we got, you know, think where else they're going to go with this, because they're going to continue making films, you know, involving Spider-Man or involving other characters in the Spider-Man, you know, comic book verse. So that's, I don't know, that's where all I can say they're going with this. But like I said, guys, I just covered basically everything that really needs to be covered, and not in 3 minutes, spreading out different videos and all that crap. But that's where I say, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your theories are on where you think Sony's going to take everything, or where all the different movies will line up, or if there's any other different ideas you think. Let me know. Comment, rate. If you like this video, I'm out of videos. Please subscribe. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace.